They are trying to me.
Yeah. This industry is a monster.
Everybody wants to know, why'd you walk away from $50 million?
I wasn't walking away from the money.
Yeah.
I was walking away from the circumstances.
I understand what it's worth doing when the industry is canceling one black guy. I know what happens when they are going to elevate another.
They're trying to convince me I'm insane. They were trying to get me to take psychotic medication.
Not they offered him $50 million and he turned it down. Who gonna turn down $50 million?
What's going on? Why is Dave Chappelle going to Africa? Why does Mariah Carey make $100 million?
What if I told you that two of the most outspoken comedians in Hollywood, Dave Chappelle and Katt Williams, didn't just walk away from fame and fortune, but were pushed out for refusing to play by Hollywood's rules? That their careers took unexpected turns not because of bad choices, but because they challenged the industry's most powerful forces? And at the center of it all, Oprah Winfrey. Yes, the beloved talk show queen, a name synonymous with success and generosity, is now facing allegations that she's more than just an influential figure. She's a gatekeeper in an industry that thrives on control. Stick around as we dive deep into the shocking accusations, secret power moves, and the truth behind why some of the most talented comedians in the business paid the price for speaking out. At the height of his career, Dave Chappelle had the world at his feet. His groundbreaking sketch comedy show, Chappelle's Show, was a cultural phenomenon, drawing millions of viewers and making him one of the most influential comedians of his generation. Then, seemingly out of nowhere, he vanished. The headlines were relentless. He had lost his mind. He was unstable. He had thrown away a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. But what if that narrative wasn't the truth? What if the real story wasn't about Chappelle running away, but about him escaping? Chappelle's decision to leave behind a $50 million contract with Comedy Central wasn't an impulsive breakdown. It was a calculated move. According to Chappelle himself, Hollywood wasn't just offering him money. They were demanding control. And when he resisted, the industry's response was brutal. The media quickly spun the story, portraying him as irrational and delusional. But Chappelle later set the record straight. He spoke about the real pressures that exist behind the glitz and glamour, pressures that force entertainers into submission. The deeper he got into Hollywood's inner workings, the more he realized that success came at a steep price. It wasn't just about performing, it was about conforming. One of the most disturbing claims Chappelle has made is that people in the industry attempted to get him to take psychotic medication. This wasn't for his health, it was about control. He suggested that Hollywood had a history of labeling those who resisted as mentally ill, drugging them into submission, or pushing them out entirely. He refused to take the bait, but by rejecting the system, he made himself a target. In his own words, Chappelle once said, "The worst thing to call somebody is crazy. It's dismissive. I don't understand this place. I'm not crazy. Maybe the environment is a little sick." These weren't the words of a man losing his mind. They were the words of someone seeing the industry for what it really was. A machine designed to consume and control talent, and if you weren't willing to play along, you would be cast out. Chappelle's refusal to comply led to his blacklisting. Offers disappeared, doors closed, and he was effectively erased from Hollywood for years. But he wasn't the only comedian who pushed back against the system. Another bold truth-teller, Katt Williams, faced a similar fate, and his accusations were even more chilling. For decades, Oprah Winfrey has been celebrated as a trailblazer, a media mogul, philanthropist, and one of the most influential women in the world. But behind the carefully crafted public image, accusations have emerged that Oprah is far more than just a talk show host. Some believe she is a gatekeeper for Hollywood's most powerful elite, a figure who ensures that only those willing to play by the rules get to stay in the game. And those who refuse? They disappear. One of the most explosive claims tied to Oprah is her alleged role in the downfall of Dave Chappelle. According to insiders and fellow comedians, Chappelle's decision to walk away from his $50 million deal wasn't just met with confusion. It was met with punishment. The entertainment industry closed its doors to him, and some believe Oprah played a key part in ensuring that he wasn't welcomed back until he was ready to comply. Katt Williams, another comedian known for speaking out against Hollywood's dark underbelly, has echoed these claims. He has suggested that Chappelle wasn't just blacklisted, he was attacked by powerful forces working behind the scenes. Williams himself has experienced eerily similar pushback, facing career struggles, legal troubles, and constant negative media coverage, all after calling out the same elite figures. But why would Oprah, someone admired for championing Black voices and uplifting talent, be involved in this kind of power play? The theory suggests that she isn't just a part of Hollywood's elite, she is a key enforcer of its rules. Those who challenge the system, especially Black entertainers who refuse to be controlled, become threats to the carefully constructed narrative of the industry. And when someone becomes a threat, they have to be silenced. Oprah's alleged influence isn't just about supporting or rejecting certain entertainers. It's about maintaining an entire system that keeps Hollywood's power structure intact. If Chappelle's downfall was orchestrated, then Oprah wasn't just a bystander. She was a player in the game. But Dave Chappelle wasn't the only one who faced this level of resistance. Katt Williams' own battle with Hollywood's elite was even more public, and his experiences paint an even darker picture of the entertainment industry's hidden control mechanisms. For years, Oprah Winfrey has built a brand based on trust, empowerment, and influence. She's been positioned as a guiding light in media, someone who champions truth and justice. But when you take a closer look at some of her past connections, a very different picture emerges. One of the most disturbing associations linked to Oprah is John of God, a so-called Brazilian faith healer she once promoted on her platform. Oprah's endorsement played a massive role in boosting his reputation, leading thousands to seek him out for spiritual healing. But years later, horrifying truths came to light. John of God was convicted of sexually abusing hundreds of women. Some victims even alleged that he was running a human trafficking operation. The shocking part? Many believe Oprah had access to information about his disturbing behavior long before the truth went public. Then there's Harvey Weinstein, the disgraced Hollywood mogul whose name has become synonymous with abuse and corruption in the entertainment industry. Weinstein was a close friend and ally of Oprah for years. She attended his parties, praised him publicly, and was often seen in photos whispering in his ear. But when his crimes became impossible to ignore, Oprah distanced herself, acting as though she had no idea about his dark past. However, not everyone bought this act. Actress Rose McGowan, one of Weinstein's most vocal accusers, publicly called out Oprah, accusing her of knowing exactly what was going on and helping to cover it up. She claimed that instead of speaking out, Oprah protected Weinstein for as long as she could, until it was no longer convenient. And it didn't stop there. Oprah's name has also been linked to Jeffrey Epstein, the convicted sex offender whose powerful connections shook the world. While Oprah never directly addressed their relationship, singer Seal suggested that she played a role in enabling Epstein's activities, raising even more questions about the true nature of her influence. But perhaps the most telling moment of Oprah's selective activism came with Russell Simmons. Initially, Oprah took a stand against the music mogul, supporting his victims and working on a documentary that would expose the allegations against him. But suddenly, she backed out. No real explanation. No follow-through. Many believe this was another calculated move, that Oprah was willing to appear as an advocate for victims until the situation threatened her own connections and power. When you put all these controversies together, a pattern emerges, one that suggests Oprah is far from just an innocent bystander in Hollywood's elite circle. Instead of exposing corruption, she appears to have navigated it, protected it, and even benefited from it. But what does this mean for the bigger picture? And if these accusations are true, how much power does Oprah really hold behind the scenes? While Oprah Winfrey has long been praised as a champion for women, an unearthed interview with supermodel Cindy Crawford suggests a much darker side to her approach, one that blurred the lines between empowerment and exploitation. Back in the late 1980s, Cindy Crawford was just 20 years old when she appeared on The Oprah Winfrey Show. It should have been a career-defining moment, a chance for the young model to introduce herself to the world. But instead, what happened on that stage has haunted Crawford for years. The interview took an uncomfortable turn almost immediately. Instead of speaking to Crawford directly, Oprah turned to the young model's manager and asked shocking questions about her body, her weight, her grooming, even how she was being presented to the public. And then, in front of a live studio audience, Oprah instructed Crawford to stand up and show off her body. Looking back, Crawford later admitted she didn't fully process how inappropriate that moment was at the time. She recalled feeling more like a child being examined rather than a professional woman being interviewed. But as years passed, the experience sat differently with her. In hindsight, she realized what had happened on that stage. She had been objectified on national television by one of the most powerful women in media. The resurfaced clips sparked outrage on social media, with many calling out Oprah for reducing a young woman's career to her looks and body rather than her talent or ambitions. But instead of addressing the controversy, Oprah did something that only fueled suspicion. She deleted the interview from YouTube. To many, this move wasn't just about erasing an embarrassing moment from her past. It was about hiding the evidence. Critics argue that if Oprah truly stood for women's empowerment, she should have acknowledged her mistake and used the moment as a learning opportunity. But by wiping the interview from the internet, she only raised more questions about how many other problematic moments from her past have been quietly buried. Cindy Crawford's experience is just one example of how Oprah's influence and control go far beyond what the public sees. But if she was willing to humiliate a young model on live TV, what else has she done behind closed doors? And how deep does her real power in Hollywood truly go? For years, Katt Williams has been one of the few voices in Hollywood willing to speak out about the hidden power structures controlling the entertainment industry. According to Williams, Hollywood isn't just about talent, it's about obedience. And if you're unwilling to play the game by their rules, your career can be destroyed overnight. One of the most shocking claims Williams has made is that Hollywood deliberately humiliates Black entertainers to keep them in check. He believes this is done through staged events, scripted scandals, and public embarrassments, all designed to remind these celebrities that, no matter how famous they become, they are still at the mercy of the industry's elite. A prime example? The Will Smith, Chris Rock slap at the Oscars. Williams suggests that this moment wasn't just an unscripted outburst, it was part of a larger agenda. Think about it. One of Hollywood's most bankable Black stars, Will Smith, publicly slapping another beloved Black comedian, Chris Rock, on the biggest stage in entertainment. The incident dominated headlines for months, overshadowing every other part of the ceremony. It painted Smith as unstable, Rock as a victim, and made both men look powerless. But the real winners? The Hollywood elites, who got exactly what they wanted, a spectacle. But this isn't the only way the industry keeps Black entertainers in line. Williams has pointed to a long-standing ritual of humiliation that Hollywood enforces, one that seems to target Black men specifically. He has repeatedly called out the pattern of forcing Black comedians to wear dresses as part of their comedic performances, a move he claims is a test of submission. Williams specifically cited Kevin Hart as an example, pointing to Hart's appearance on Saturday Night Live where he wore a dress for a sketch. When questioned about it, Hart dismissed the controversy, saying it was just comedy. But Williams believes this was far from innocent. And Kevin Hart isn't the only one. This trend can be traced back to Eddie Murphy, Jamie Foxx, Martin Lawrence, and even Tyler Perry, all of whom have played cross-dressing roles in major films or TV shows. Williams argues that this isn't just comedy, it's a form of control. It's a way for Hollywood to see which Black entertainers are willing to be molded, to play along, to sacrifice their dignity for success. Those who refuse, they get the Dave Chappelle treatment, blacklisted, smeared in the media, or labeled as crazy until they either fall in line or fade into obscurity. Williams has never backed down from these claims, even at the cost of his own career. He has faced numerous arrests, legal battles, and public scandals, all of which he believes are part of a larger effort to silence him. The real question is, if these claims are true, how many other Black entertainers have suffered the same fate? And more importantly, who's pulling the strings? Beyond the fame, fortune, and flashing lights of Hollywood, there are whispers of something much darker, a secret elite society that pulls the strings behind the scenes. It's a theory that has circulated for years, and Katt Williams, along with Dave Chappelle, has hinted that refusing to comply with this hidden power structure is what led to their downfall. Many believe that Hollywood isn't just an industry. It's a network controlled by a select group of elites, often tied to Illuminati theories. According to these claims, there's an unspoken contract that rising stars must accept if they want to maintain their success. This means playing along with the system, following orders, and never questioning the real power brokers. Those who rebel, like Chappelle and Williams, become enemies of the system. One name that frequently comes up in these discussions? Oprah Winfrey. The theory suggests that Oprah isn't just an influential media mogul. She is a key gatekeeper in what some refer to as the Good Club. This group, which allegedly consists of billionaires and global influencers, includes figures like Bill Gates, George Soros, Warren Buffett, David Rockefeller, and Ted Turner. While this group publicly claims to focus on philanthropy and global betterment, skeptics argue that its real purpose is control over Hollywood, over the media, and over society itself. If this is true, it means Oprah isn't just a celebrity powerhouse, she's an enforcer. And if you step out of line, you pay the price. Katt Williams has repeatedly warned fellow Black entertainers to stay away from these elite circles. He claims that once you're in, you either play by their rules or become an industry target. He believes both he and Dave Chappelle were blacklisted for rejecting the power plays of Hollywood's secret society, refusing to take part in rituals, and exposing the hidden truth behind the industry. But what exactly are these rituals? According to Williams, the industry has initiation rites, tests that determine who's willing to submit and who isn't. These could include public humiliation, forced participation in scripted scandals, or even darker, more sinister activities that are hidden from the public eye. And for those who refuse, the industry turns against them fast. Whether you believe in the Illuminati theories or not, one thing is clear: there is a pattern. Time and time again, the most outspoken entertainers, the ones who challenge the system, mysteriously find themselves in legal trouble, media scandals, or professional exile. The same industry that once praised them suddenly works overtime to destroy their reputation. Could this be a coincidence? Or is there something much bigger at play? Dave Chappelle and Katt Williams have risked everything to expose Hollywood's darkest secrets. They aren't just comedians, they are whistleblowers, warning the world that the entertainment industry isn't just about talent and hard work. It's about control, power, and submission. And for those who refuse to conform, the consequences are severe. Oprah Winfrey, once celebrated as a beacon of success and empowerment, is now at the center of these allegations. Instead of being a champion for truth, many believe she is a key enforcer for Hollywood's elite, a figure who controls who rises and who falls. Her alleged connections to some of the most powerful and controversial figures in the world suggest that her influence runs much deeper than just media and entertainment. The pattern is clear. Celebrities who refuse to play along are destroyed. They are blacklisted, humiliated, or labeled as crazy. Chappelle walked away from $50 million and was painted as unstable. Katt Williams has been arrested multiple times and constantly ridiculed in the press. And they are just two examples in a long list of entertainers who have suffered similar fates. But why? Because Hollywood's elite must maintain control. Whether through media manipulation, financial coercion, or ritual humiliation, they ensure that only the most obedient public figures stay in power. The moment someone questions the system or refuses to submit, they become a threat. And threats must be eliminated. And then there's the secret society, the shadowy group of billionaires and Hollywood elites who operate behind closed doors, ensuring their grip on power remains unchallenged. Katt Williams has repeatedly warned about these circles, cautioning fellow Black entertainers against getting too close to the industry's most powerful figures. But the biggest question remains: how long can Hollywood keep these secrets hidden? Despite the consequences, Chappelle and Williams refuse to be silenced. They continue speaking out, refusing to be intimidated by the system that tried to break them. They know the risks, yet they still fight to reveal the truth. And if what they're saying is true, what else is Hollywood hiding?